Moon gets it.
What did you learn?
They really are losing to their heroes. They're losing to the Ember and the Bristle, the 23 Savage Jug. If it was the Morphling, it would be the perfect trio. Nah, that's not true. The Timbersaw is a little bit more iconic for Forever. But that was game 1.
Yep.
They're out of sorts today. They woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
And conversely, Mineski. Who's the coach for Mineski right now?
I think, is it 71? I think it's 71.
I'm asking you.
I think it's 71. They've been through a lot of coaches.
Coach is putting in the hours. Up top, looking for a go on the Jug, but they biff it again. The Courier, it looks like it kind of scouted him out there. Bounty Runes, Bimbo. He snags it. And Mineski, 3 for 4 on the bounties.
Apparently he has left since then. Never mind. According to this, he left in June.
Uh-oh, Savage outside of his base. This is a deep dive. Hook shot from Febby, interrupts the shackles. Is this going to be a backfire for the Radiant? The Boogie gets broken. But now Moon continuing to press, grabs one. Savage will lose his Recarn. March now getting chased down, makes it back, but Mineski bringing the punches. Unrelenting with the pressure here as now Forever joins the party, has an Arena of Blood, but might be low on HP. Out comes the Rebuke. Forever, skewered down, RP on 2. Bimbo sets it up, and they get cleaved down. Forever, nowhere to go. Okay, the Dream Coil does give him some space. Savage, he does not have the ulti. They're going to commit for this. Jug with the Manta, jumps in. Omni Slash on the back line. Savage down, Forever low. Gunner survives thanks to the Yules, but there is absolutely no pressure on Mineski. Now the Healing Ward comes out, it blends in and tops off the team.
And very similar to last game, again, diving past tier 2s to the high ground and making it look easy. I can tell the C fans are cheering right now. They love Mineski, and they're back. They have
sure
found their way here this morning into it. It could just be over. They had a Naga last game, and it looked possible. This game, it doesn't look nearly as easy to try and come back here.
Yeah. I mean, Wraith King, it's a bad time for him to die. Very close to the Relic. If Mineski slow this down, there could be a window to recover, but it doesn't look like that's the case. They are just parked on the enemy side of the map.
It's pretty much the exact same net worth ordering as last game, where Forever and Gunner got absolutely handled. And sure, 23 Savage is up there, but he's on this hero that's just not doing a whole lot.
Right. You're relying on the momentum of your team. Now the fight breaks out. A lot of damage onto the Clockwork. First casualty here. The Arena of Blood does next to nothing. Mars just locked in place and obliterated. Nico Baby unstoppable now as they press forward onto March. Caught by the Bolas, and that's 3 down. They're not even team fights. There's no damage coming out of the Dire whatsoever.
It's a slaughterhouse. They're just walking in and coming out all chopped out on the other side.
I mean, I like meat, but this is brutal.
I'm going vegetarian after watching this. I can't handle it.
So this is how sausage is made.
I know which team is the sausage. There are a bunch of Keel bosses over there.
Trying to split things up, but this will be a bottom lane of barracks. Tier 2 standing in mid and top, so only one lane worth, but at 18 minutes, huge economic damage. 5-figure lead now for Mineski. Looking to close this one
Gunner
out quick.
Being hunted here. Whoa, he got him.
Uh-oh.
Nice play by Moon. Get out of here with your cheeky little plays of cutting our waves. Let me hand you a tip. Be on your way to the lower bracket here. Shoo now.
This will be a defining day for TJMM. Are they a one-trick pony, or can they show that they've got the chops to stand up in the playoffs after revealing their strats in the group stage? But after this one, they're going to need to look into the mirror and figure out what went wrong and how to change this up, because this was not even a series.
No. They didn't even play Dota.
This was like an open qualifier game.
It really was.
I mean, look at Mineski. They're not even retreating. They're just like, guys, why don't we end this right now? Let's just walk up to the high ground. We got our cooldowns. Not quite roster boards, but This is part of the reason why Jug is such a feared carry in these scenarios. The Healing Ward gives you so much sustainability. You don't have to retreat. It's another tier 3. Uh-oh, here come the Skellies, though.
Not the Skellies. Oh, there they are again.
And they're back. And they're done. Can definitely see the dark side of the skeletons. That was just a gift to Nico. Hey, bud, I know you're ahead, but how about a little more? Ice Blast does connect onto Moon. Could be a dead Ember. Although Nico Baby's deep in the back line. Clockwork caught by the shackles. Think he's dead no matter what. And they actually don't get the kill on the Ember. He does not shatter after all. Buyback now from Febby. TJMM trying to make this hold. Wraith King still has the ultimate, but Hex just a non-factor in this fight. Does have the Radiance. Now the Arena of Blood, putting some damage onto the Bristle. KP falls. But it's a dieback now from Febby.
Oh,
Bimbo
nice.
with the RP on 3. Skewer out of the base, and now the Dire are in big trouble. Gunner's down. Buyback comes there. Boogie also falls.
Bimbo stuck. Oh, no. Yeah, Bimbo stuck inside. He skewered them into the snakes, but.
Oh. Well, dieback for Gunner. Savage also falls, and all 5 hit the deck. The GG at 20 minutes. Genespris in big trouble here in the playoffs after an absolutely one-sided opening series. Mineski showing what they got and how hungry they are to go to Shanghai.
Mineski took out the whiteboard. Some cracked up. They had the drawings all up there, and they had these replays from TJM. They went Gunner here, 4F here, 23 Savage here, just farming. And then they just killed them. They just killed them on the sides. They did nothing. They did nothing the whole game. They completely read them. They knew exactly what they wanted to do.
Let's look at some stats here.
Nico Baby did not die.
So in this entire series,
yes,
across all 3 cores of Mineski, that's the position 1, the position 2, and the position 3, they have conceded a total of 3 deaths.
Yes.
In 2 games.
Yes.
That is insane. I don't know if I've seen a team get handled in a best of 3 with so much on the line in such a convincing manner ever. I mean, that's a bold statement, but 3 deaths across all 3 of your cores.
Well, this kind of looked like 2 of our favorites.
In the entire series.
You know?
These were absolutely the favorites. I mean, damage done. Yep. That's a problem.
Yeah, that checks out.
Wow.
Man, Moon just went off.
Just wow.
There's not a whole lot. They just look completely prepared for exactly how Genespers have been playing. And they continue to destroy them based off of that. There's really not a whole lot else to say.
The win probability was never in favor of Genespers, not even once, at a single moment in that game. Not even with the first bounties. Wow. That's a bummer. Okay. Well.
Okay. Yeah.
Ladies
so
and
there
gentlemen,
is another series. They might still be in game 1 for all we know.
Yeah.
Considering how this has been going.
They're on BTS 2. I don't know if that's going to switch over to the mainstream, but our second opening series needs to finish up, and then we'll have a whole nother series coming up here on the mainstream with our other casters joining us. But until then, I think we're going to throw it to a break and then come on back with more C Dota. First series, all done. Hope to see you again.
It would be a departure from where we've seen the Leshrac played, but in this situation, you come in with a strat, you know, sometimes, because in the best of ones, you don't always have the best ability to prep for each opponent. Now you go into a best of 3, you know what you're going to run. Could be something they look at.
This is a crazy amount of push as well, right, between the skeletons and the Diabolic Edict. It's actually very scary. So Amplify, just going to take just pick up the Mars here. I'm a little bit surprised at the Mars pick, actually. I don't think it's particularly amazing against either of these 2 heroes, whether they're like offlane or a higher priority core. So I guess they do maybe just like the hero, or again, like you're saying, you know, maybe there's some strat value here. The disruption into Catcher into Mars Spear is a pretty nice combo.
Definitely. The other thing that you talked about the other day was Shadow Demon occasionally being played, even though they're in the position 5, then played in the off lane and paired together with somebody. So that could be something to watch for. I will say that if it is a Leshrac in the core role, just being able to arena him sounds kind of nice, because that Leshracs don't oftentimes want to go early into a BKB, and there's not really many other answers besides that.
Yeah, I think the only thing is that the like Lesh is going to build like a Yules. So if you catch him in the arena, but you don't hit him with the spear, then you're not going to really do any damage to him. And he kills Mars pretty well. Like Mars is survivable against right-click damage, but Bulwark's not going to help against anything that Lesh is bringing to the table. But the one thing that I will say, the other reason that I think there's some kind of dual lane shenanigans or something going on is it would be really weird for a droid to open with 2 cores. So I think at the very least, it's like position 4 Leshrac.
Is it far enough to say that you would not like it if they open with those 2 cores?
No, I think you're leaving yourself too open to counter picks.
Wow.
Ooh, Wisp makes it through. Okay.
Look at this. Double heals coming out. Has Amplify even really run the Wisp at all yet? That's something else to think about.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Because that's one of those heroes that you tend to not ban out if they don't see it.
Yeah, they played it 3 games.
Okay.
100% win rate.
Well, let's pack it in, everybody. Game's over.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure a droid have some 100% win rates on their heroes as well. And now the Centaur coming in pretty late. Like I said, he was by far the most contested. And Amplify just going straight for the Gyro Wisp. Okay, so strong dual lane.
So again, if we're hearkening back to the idea of a Leshrac support, probably go for something along the lines of a Death Prophet mid. Oh, it's banned out already.
Yep.
But you'd be looking for a mid here most likely if it is going to be that Lesh support. But Io Gyro let through into the second phase.
Yeah, Amplify pretty much only have magical damage so far. So Centaur's going to be getting a really fast pipe. The Fate's Edict could be super helpful this game, just in terms of keeping people alive. And I'm not 100% sure how the damage is going to end up stacking up against what Adroid have, because they got some really beefy heroes already. Wraith King, Centaur. I think Amplify actually need to get off to an okay start to be looking good in team fights. But I think their lineup will come online just a little bit earlier. Centaur needs some time to get a blink. Wraith King, by far the predominant build that we've been seeing is the Midas Radiance. So that all takes a little while to come online.
I guess the other thing that you need to be worried about is if you do even have that, if you think, okay, the way that we're going to survive is by Stampede, Mars kind of throws a wrench into that plan, right? Like, you just throw down the arena and you're no longer able to stampede.
Yeah,
out.
for sure. So picking Centaur into the Mars, I do think, is a little bit strange. And, ooh, this is such a nice answer to these tanky strength heroes. Actually, I don't know why they banned Puck. This is such a good OD pick. Like, it's just going to shred the Wraith King and the Centaur. The imprisonment is really nice against the false promise as well. Like, you just waste the whole duration pretty much. Do they have a laning counter to the OD? They're just going to go for the Lina. The burst damage looks pretty good, and we did see Lina absolutely... I mean, there were some extenuating factors in that game, but we saw Alina absolutely handle OD the other day.
It's
in
true.
lane, so...
I mean, that also, if I remember correctly, that might have had like a Spear Breaker or somebody else in tow that were messing with the situation. And that is one thing to be a little bit concerned about. There aren't really that great of heroes to rotate for a droid if the lanes start looking like a little bit of an outclass, or more importantly, if the OD is just able to have a free start. Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, that was Max Lina, by the way. That was a droid versus 496.
All right.
Was the game. So he knows the matchup for sure.
Carl also no stranger to the OD. So we got the IO gyrocopter with the OD. Oftentimes when we're looking at these last picks, the one that sort of sparks a little bit more excitement from the analysts is the team that ends up winning the game. Do you think this OD is good enough for them?
Yeah, this is a really nice OD pick. He doesn't have very many counters. Like, the Lina is, I think, a little bit of a laning counter, but his other matchups this game look really good. Like, the supports aren't that annoying for him. At worst, it's like the Edict from the Oracle as a disarm, and that's about it.
Yeah.
They don't have a ton of really hard lockdown to... Because I think one of the important things as a support to look at is if you have a long duration stun and you can stun the OD during his equilibrium, then you're sitting pretty a lot of the time. But they don't really have that here. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens. Amplify they're the higher seed coming out of the group stage as well, so I feel like they're favored because of that, and I also like their draft here a little bit more.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into it. Game number 1, a best of 3. Adroit facing off against Amplify. And my goodness gracious, I'm excited for it. You know, we've got ourselves, at least at this situation, it actually looks like they're not going to run the dual lane that I thought we were going to. Maybe they go a full tri-lane and sack the Centaur a little bit. I guess that you don't have to be worried about that much damage coming out early from the IO Gyro, and maybe if you can start the Wraith King off to a good start,
Yeah, maybe.
The game could look easier.
They might just be looking for a first blood or something.
Yeah.
I think it's more worth it to pressure the Wisp than it is to pressure the Mars. Like, I think if they were going to go for a tri-lane, I think I'd prefer to see them tri-lane into the Gyro Wisp than tri-lane into the Mars.
Okay.
Because Mars just kind of needs levels initially. You like kind of just need your, and then you need a tiny bit of fun. Like you need your Soul Ring and maybe your Phase Boots. A Bracer is nice, but then you can still have an impact just running around, popping down arenas and hurling spears.
It looks like already Bach has the double Stout Shield queued up, thinking about going for the creep cutting.
Yeah.
And we'll see where Boomy decides to end as well in this laning stage. Looking for a stun. Natsumi decides we do not need to throw out that mana for not really a chance at a kill. But with Lashrak here, they might be able to make something happen.
Yeah, they might lose one of the bop bounties for this, though. The Gyro's already moving across, and the Wisp is getting run at somewhat, but I don't think the Centaur's really going to be able to do much damage to him.
Already has the Retaliate early.
Yeah, Wisp doesn't want to give him any stacks. He doesn't want to hit him. All right, there you go. Now,
Top lane. And if they can take this bounty away, there's a nice pickup there, and the spear does not latch onto the tree. Yeah. So, Amplify.
There's a little hole right there. The level 1 spear also has a pretty bad range, so you gotta pick your spots fairly carefully. Ryor, okay, he's using the shovel. You can see it. Yeah, he there you go. That's confidence.
Dude, he's not afraid.
That's efficiency. I heard Grant say it the other day. You know, like, oh, Pro Dota is all about efficiency. That's an efficient, trusty shovel right there.
I like it. Make sure you get the most out of those cosmetics. Mid lane, we've got ourselves 2 of the wards. Are going to be able to find that stun early onto Carl. Just trading hits. The power of Lina right click, 65 on that base damage.
Yeah. Okay, I really like the way that Mac is playing this. He's already got his salve, so he can play super aggro. I think he must have started with it, actually. So that means that he was really confident to just trade hits in like the first wave. He's pushed the wave in towards Carl, and he's making it difficult for Carl to find an opportunity to use his salve. He's also got level 2, but doesn't have the Dragon Slave to be able to cancel this or anything.
Bringing out right now the other Null Tally recipe and then a Mango as well. So wants to get out that maximum amount of harassment possible. And Carl, I don't know if this man is going to shake your hand, give you a high five. This is all business right now.
Yeah. Well, Mac's got the high ground, so any trades are going to favor him for now.
Bach down bottom. Good job here by the Gyrocopter to make sure he gets the rocket barrage damage, but not building retaliate stacks. Harassment without giving kill potential. And with that, chase forward coming. Gotta be careful. It's a good amount of right click damage. So far, so good. Ooh, Carl. He doesn't have a salve right now, actually. He needs to bring out another one, so he's going to have to hang back for a while now.
I really like the way that Mac is playing this lane. Like, he was keeping his Fiery Soul stacks up, he's trading a lot of hits, keeping himself high on HP, and anytime Carl's coming up to the wave, he's pummeling him back. You know, he's not really caring so much about taking a little bit of creep damage here and there, because he's giving better than he's getting.
Right. Yeah, and if you trade a couple more hits right here, he's potentially going to kill you off. So keep our eyes on that mid lane. 14-5 versus the 8-1 on the OD so far. Feels like Mac is definitely, like
the fake out,
understanding this.
Boomy brought himself with one illusion, so Carl might not even he doesn't have a ward, but he might not even realize. Oh, they wasted both stuns.
That was not perfect. And the slowdown, it's not going to happen. But still, a lot of pressure on. And Mac does have a Mango. He gets Dragon Slave back up. Could try and go for a kill here. Doesn't decide to dive. Although the wraparounds.
Oracle.
Oh, this is huge. If he's going to get it, he needs just a little bit of extra range.
I thought I would have tried for it.
That's dangerous, but down in the top lane there is a battle of brewing, so needs to come back, make sure that Natsumi doesn't get taken out. And at the same time, like, you don't need to dive. They're winning the lane.
Yeah, that's true. Could have forced his Fairy Fire at the least.
Yeah. Good dodge from Carl there. Doesn't take the Dragon Slave to the face. Oh, and a nice little Astral as well. Keeps him from taking too much more damage, but will eat a Dragon Slave afterwards. And get the deny.
So I think this is salve number 3 or salve number 4 for Carl this game. He's like 700 gold behind the Lina at this point.
Wow. Yeah, that's really good for Mac. I think I saw him bring out a set of tangos as well.
Yep.
Invis Rune picked up for Jo. We'll see if the Shadow Demon's able to make anything happen with that. A stomp just to create a little bit of separation, make sure Boomy doesn't get ran down here. And can they make anything happen against the Oracle? Get the spear, push back, nice little combination. Still living through it though.
Nice, gains half of the health back, purging off the catcher.
Yeah. Light Strike Ray connects here, and Mac continuing to apply pressure constantly here in this mid lane.
I wonder if Mac's going to try and rotate to refill his bottle with bounties.
Boomy! Ooh! Use the Rocket Barrage there as well. Is Carl getting aggressive here? He's got to be careful.
Oh, the glyphs.
Glyph as well.
Oh, stops him from getting the mana back. That really hurts.
Yeah. Bounty runes. Looks like we get a couple traded there. Bliffy pick up a few, and so do Adroit. So trade off. 2 for 2 again. I mean, how bad is this for the OD? It's not that much of a CS difference.
It's okay. The other heroes on his team are going to make space for him
Okay.
later on, and I think he's going to catch back up. He farms relatively quickly as well, but I think it's more about the fact that the Lina can take this start and then run around and apply some pressure. It's quite a good Lina game from the perspective that there isn't a whole lot of catch for you or heroes that are going to get up in your face.
Right.
That's always the problem for Lina. If there's like an enemy core that's just going to buy a blink and like blink and stun you, you're just going to die. There isn't really any good way to itemize for survivability on this hero. So it's all about your positioning and whatnot, and this game is an easy positioning game for the Lina, I think.
Misses the stun there, and that's going to put a stop to the pressure. I think we saw the Shadow Demon walk over towards mid and give the OD a salve as well, just to try and make this lane a little bit easier for him. But yeah, 11 denies so far for the Lina. Picks up a haste rune. Who's she going for in this one? They imprison Natsumi up top, and the call comes to head down bottom, it looks like, for Mac.
Ooh, this would be nice.
They don't have a ward here. They're not going to see this coming from Amplify. Mac moving. Spirit's going.
They don't have a setup stun exactly, though, so...
Yeah, it's dangerous. All right, haste. They hit it. Nicely played. Going to come in with a stomp afterwards. Full dive. Bach needs to back out. Can they kill him off in time? Mac didn't have the mana. He didn't have mana for Laguna Blade. And now trying to run away from him. This missile is going to connect. They find the kill. All the spirits on the Mac, but it looks like they can get out. They force rotation.
I mean, they can go Shrine. Really nicely played by the Wisp. He still had a salve, so he just chilled out in the trees, popped the salve, kept the Gyrocopter alive, and that does hurt Lina. At least they had the Oracle sitting mid, soaking the experience, so not a total loss, but of course Carl going to be getting free farm in that lane for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, now they're going to swap it, so they've got the Leshrac in tow, ready to make a move, but Vera's done a good job. Kicks up some battle points.
Nice.
Why not? So do they go for the stun play? It's kind of hard when the lane's this far pushed up. Yeah, it looks like instead they're just going to try and pressure this tower with the skeletons.
All right, Jay are coming over to deal with that. They got nice vision on the high ground.
Still 0-0. This is the playoffs. Oh, no. But the arena used Rior just getting level 6, and well, the stun comes out, still trying to keep him alive. There's a stick there available, but I believe this Leshrac is goner. First blood drawn by Carl.
Oh man. All right, well, Carl's back in it.
Oh, bottom lane though. Gyrocopter, double edge. Can't get him.
Wisp TPing in with a full bottle.
And in fact, might need to use the Fate Seed here to keep Balk alive. Stun comes out, and that might be enough, but the Light Strike Ray not going to connect. And again, Adroit not able to find anything from this as they moved in and can't even bring down that IO. So really well played by Amplify so far. They've been able to dodge all this aggression, and now look at OD mid. Getting some damage on the tower. Carl gives him the tip.
Yep, well, both mid laners trying to make the same move, but only Carl's stuck. He got the first blood. He's looking great. Mac has been trying to make a bunch of rotations, and he's now behind the OD on the net worth. So.
Oh, and the other thing to think about is we talked about the potential to take towers. Boomy is going for the Lightning into Split Earth build, so less pressure on the towers.
Yeah, they have done a decent amount of damage to this mid-tier 1 already just by virtue of constantly pushing the lane, and now just auto-attacking it down with the illusions, actually. They're going to push it into deny range, though.
Oh, dangerous. And the gyrocopter moves in. They get the banishment. Oh, they've got the call down afterwards. This is really bad for Mac if they cannot save him, and they won't. And more so than that, they drain all of the Oracle's mana. He can't save himself even. If they want to dive, it looks like they're going to call it off, though. And, well, like you said, deny range.
Yeah, it was a nice split earth, but oh man, the Lina. Yeah, there's another tip. Trying to get in Mac's head a little bit, perhaps.
Question is it working?
I guess we'll just have to see. I think Mac needs to chill out for a second now. The problem is that he still has this Laguna Blade. He really wants to use it. Like, I think he really wants to go to a lane, use his ulti, get a kill, then go back to farming and spamming clarities and stuff like that. And he probably knows that the OD is likely to go for a Midas as well this game. So he feels like Wraith King's like the true carry, and he needs to be just making space, making plays happen. But so far not going too great. Does have a little stack here that he's clearing, so that's nice.
Likewise, though, if you think about this way that this game has gone, Amplify have just done such a good job of just recognizing the power spikes of Adroit and then dodging them each and every time. Even right here, rotation comes up top. We've seen it a billion times with that gyrocopter. Adroit, they would love to be able to make a play with the Lina, but Amplify are up here in numbers. You can't really pressure like that against it.
The symmetry of this game is actually pretty crazy, right? I feel like both mid laners have made some of the same rotations. Now we've got the natural Dire come and take the Radiant tier 1, while Radiant go and take the Dire tier 1. So it's a slight lead in Adroit's favor, but the tier 1 hasn't fallen just yet for Amplify, so.
I guess the other thing is taking down that mid, although I believe it was denied, so.
Yep.
Does make a difference. So they managed to take the top tier 1 tower, and invading the jungle, the smoke comes out. What can Adroit find? Another smoke. Counter smokes going on simultaneously, and then they've also got 6 on IO now, so relocate gank. They've got to be careful on Adroit. This rotation, Arena of Blood is available. Mars backs out. Dire scan, they see they're up on the high ground. And can they even really fight into this with Arena of Blood and relocate cooldown?
It's going to be a bit tough. Centaur's going... Why is Centaur going Vanguard? I really don't understand why Bakarina would do that. What's the incentive?
He's got 2 stout shields, man. Just
mean,
gotta finish one of them.
Like, it helps a little bit against flat cannon, but I don't think there's anything else on the enemy lineup that's really gonna do all that much against. It does help him like tank towers and stuff potentially, but
I guess the other thing is maybe if you want to be somebody that clears through ancients or something, maybe that's going to be their goal, as they know this ancient stack is going to be built up, so they want to steal it. That's one possibility of dealing with the IO Gyro.
Because the pipe is just a better item
for fighting,
game, I think. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, the only thing I can think about is basically farming and clearing out that ancient stack.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a lot of they've got a lot of vision in this Radiant jungle, but they're not really able to use it just yet to take any of this.
No.
They're not stealing any farm away from the Radiant side. That is partially because it's just Bach down here by himself. They might eventually swap it around a little bit, and we'll have the Wraith King farming down here potentially, but it seems like for now they're content to just have Bach constantly pressure, spam things out. He might be able to, if we keep cycling like this for a while, the Vanguard might help him take the tier 2.
Right.
Which is something to look out for. And a little bit of a line drawn by Adroit. They really want to like pressure onto the opposing shrine. Sometimes it's worth it when you're playing against a Wisp lineup to go and gank the Wisp, like the Wisp +1.
Right.
Because otherwise you're just risking those two heroes relocating in on any other gank that you go for.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're looking for here.
And they do get the lightning, but nah, they're not going to find it on the gyro. So the smoke is going to be revealed. This ward, I don't know if Amplify are going to realize that it's happening right now. As the stun goes out and all of the little skeletons coming to say hello. You got to be careful about all that damage there. It sticks around for too long. I guess Io's nearby,
Yeah,
so it doesn't really
Wisp
matter.
got heals for him. You can play it pretty fast and loose with the HP and mana.
No Mars here. Mars TPing in now. If he can catch anybody, Stampede, good call. Just get out. Although the missile,
It was the very last Lina auto attack that got that tower last hit. That was really close. But that's great. That's a really good, really nice move for them. That they forced the Mars to TP in. They didn't manage to get any kind of a catch. The bottom lane's immediately going to be pressured all the way up by Bach because he can see anyone TPing onto the shrine. I'd even like him to maybe punch the tower a little bit, but he wants the bounties probably, so he's going to back himself up.
Yep.
And Mac even down here already kind of in position for when Amplify naturally somebody's going to come down here to shove out bottom. I don't think they're going to completely swap sides. They will continue to mostly play top, but someone's going to be coming to mid lane or bottom at some point.
Well, and they are kind of, you know, if you look at the way that Amplify have been farming, it's basically just been this area of the map, it feels like. Which, it's good, definitely. But you would love to be able to make sure that both your OD and your gyro are getting that farm. And then in comparison, the Mars a little bit behind, and this Leshrak's been able to get a lot for himself. Spear used here in the mid lane onto Lesh, but with Io right behind him. Looks like
Mac
not
way too far up. He got purged.
Gets punished. The Lina out of position, and Amplify might be given some tips soon. Or not. I feel like they've done enough.
He had, well, he's got Yules as a potential defensive tool, but that doesn't help you at all against the Demonic Purge. So he was just let Jair run up on him, and that was the end. Maybe it is a slightly harder positioning game for the Lina than I was initially giving it credit for. I just didn't imagine that there was a world where the Shadow Demon could just walk up. But it is nighttime, so...
I guess the other thing was that she was so far away from the rest of her team, but
yeah,
that was because, you know, you're playing in this side of the jungle. Maybe you didn't expect that they were going to try and go on them right there.
Yeah, I may not have known that the Mars had Blink either, and then just got split off. Like, the natural retreat was to try and just immediately cut back to your Tier 1 and join your team, but they got completely cut off by the Arena of Blood. And Gyrocopter already has his Aghanim Scepter, so nice farming item. The stats also pretty nice in a game like this where you're going to be frontlining a reasonable amount for your team. And pretty... Like, I don't even know so much about it being a farm accelerator, but it's an accelerator. It's a huge multiplier for any item that you get after this, right? Like the next item that you get after the Ags feels super value because you've got the Aghanim Scepter already picked up.
Well, and the other thing that we haven't really talked about that much that maybe is the saving grace right now for Adroit, this Wraith King, his Aghanim Scepter, or rather, excuse me, Aghanim Scepter, his...
That's the timing game.
I mean, it's kind of, you know, his
it's
version of it.
Yeah, it's like it's a good item on Wraith King as well. But anyway.
I was saying this Radiance now is about to be offline, or online as well. So something else that works well with Adroit's lineup, you know, the missed chance on the OD, super valuable also against this Gyrocopter, at least up until the point where they get BKBs. Can be a timing to play around, but the downside is that the Lina's Ags is going to be heavily delayed because of that last little flub in the engagement.
Yeah, well, and the fact that he's just got no kills.
Yeah.
The team as a whole have no kills. And I think that's not what you want if you're Lina this game, for sure. But Wraith King is definitely the strongest hero on the map now with his Radiance getting delivered. So makes a lot of sense that they would try and force some kind of engagement here, pushing down bottom.
Rior, he's nearby. Gotta be careful about your movement here, Boomy. They get the arena onto Macfuel. Scepter lift up immediately. The fight going on off to the side. They take down the Shadow Demon and continuing to control Rior. The spear, it actually going to be as the Arena Blood wears off. Oracle gonna go down in just a moment there. Tried to save himself, but it's not gonna happen. Actually, he does have the false promise. That might be enough. Natsumi chases. They did lose one, and it looks like Carl should be able to make his way out with that Force Staff. So 2-for-1 exchange. Take that every day of the week for a droid. This is the timing.
I feel like the relocate was a little bit slow there. Like they I don't know if the Wisp was deciding whether or not they wanted to reload on top of the Lina, who was trapped inside the arena, or if they wanted to come in on the side. It is a little bit scary with the relocate this game that there's AoE stuns that you could just be TPing straight into.
Oh yeah.
So I could understand the hesitation, but Mac kind of not outplayed Rior necessarily, but you know, Yule's Dim stunned him. The Spear of Mars didn't end up doing anything, and really felt like the Arena of Blood didn't do a whole lot. And we saw the Wraith King is just so strong at this point with his Radiance. He's waiting forward, doing a ton of damage, holding everybody back. So
I think also that was a relatively blind jump onto the lane. I don't think he knew who all was going to be back there. So probably looked a lot worse than it actually was getting that arena up, but Mac was not stopped, and they were able to get all of his spells off. Good fight for Adroit, but now Amplify trying to be the ones to make the move themselves. Walk up onto the high ground. Arena of Blood is there yet again. Natsumi, they don't really want to initiate onto this Wraith King. He's still got ulti. And now they're kind of, well, they get Boomy. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Carl's got a lot of mobility. He's got Blink and Force Staff already picked up. Actually very farmed on this OD. The hero does flash farm nicely.
Oh. Back lines, they blow up Jo. Gonna get the stun as well, but the heal's coming in from that Oracle in just a moment, and can they bring down this Centaur? They do kill him off, but now Natsumi focuses here onto the Gyrocopter. A save coming from Carl while they take down the tower, and now Droid just need to back off.
Yeah, the OD imprisonment save, the double save from Amplify, I think we're going to be seeing that more and more and more as the game goes on. That just whatever target they try and go on Adroit is immediately going to get put under, and then there'll be heals to follow it up. That's really difficult because Adroit, their lineup is quite built around just like chain stunning one person into oblivion and deleting them from the fight. And I don't think that's really going to be an option. But fortunately, Wraith King's still very farmed, going to have his blink soon. Maybe he can get into the back lines, like find the Shadow Demon first, remove one of those saves.
Or the Aya would be nice as a way to, if he's separated from the rest of them. I guess you still have the problem then of being OD Astraled or what have you.
Well, I think if you don't go for if you go for the Wisp first instead of the Shadow Demon, then the Shadow Demon is just going to save the Wisp.
Right, exactly.
So you have this, you have this problem of you got to order the team fight in just the right way.
Yeah. Well, 2,000 gold lead for Adroit, as they have been able to get a little bit better just of the farming around the map. Not so in terms of the kills, as it is still 6-3. But it has this feeling of both teams of kind of, it's almost like that no rush 20 minutes type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got your items now, let's go in, we're going to throw our faces at each other and see who comes out on top. And right now with this Vlad's, Rior gives them all the team fight items that they're kind of needing. And you know, you look at the side of a Droid, it's that Vanguard. Right now, a casual cloak from Bach hasn't decided to go back for the pipe, although it we'll see if that's something that he thinks about going for. Was it on the courier actually? Because it feels weird to just have the casual cloak. He should have more net worth than this, right?
I think a little bit more.
Okay.
Maybe he has the hood.
Okay.
On the courier. I do like that he's going for the halberd though. It's a very nice item against the OD.
And the gyro. I mean, I guess gyro
sure.
later probably, more so than now.
Yeah. I guess the one thing is that so the Lina's got Ags now. Haven't really talked about that too much. The burst damage certainly going to be very, very useful. And they've also, Boomy's actually managed to pick up a Spirit Vessel. So that is going to be pretty sweet against these against some of these saves. Well, I guess just the healing from the Wisp. Though the only issue is that Gyrocopter now has a BKB. So you're not going to be popping the Gyro without the Wisp getting involved, but maybe you can kill off the Wisp a little bit more easily. Won't be able to save himself with the mech or anything like that.
Yeah, that seems to be one of the ways to do it. But like you said, you've got these sort of double trouble in saves coming from Jo and Carl.
Yeah.
So, going to be tough.
Oh man, Bach just straight TPing in here, but...
he's crazy.
But Rior is... Okay, he cancels his TP away. He realizes that there might be a fight here.
Need to be careful. The movement coming in, getting the vision. The OD jumps in, already using Astro. Rior only catching Mac in this one. Is that good enough? It looks like it is. Mac just gets completely exploded in this BKB reveal, walking into Adroid and just taking them down one by one. The BKB from Wraith King doing nothing. And it looks like this is going to be a double kill. Abed is Amplify just making it happen with the BKB timings. And Mac didn't get anything off.
Yeah, Mac was expecting to get saved by the Oracle, I think, but Oracle was getting pushed back by Gyrocopter.
Yeah.
In the midst of that fight. They do lose half health on this tier 3 top just to some skeletons, I think.
Right.
That's what Rior was trying to TP away to deal with as that fight broke out. So it was it was the right idea from Adroit, but unfortunately the execution was just a little bit off the mark. Like, I think if Oracle had actually managed to get the False Promise onto the Lina, the fight looks very, very different, because the OD was actually also being zoned out of the fight.
Right.
At first, the Leshrac was keeping him out, and he was stuck on the high ground, and then the Wraith King later took over and was just hurling stuns at him. But still, just because they lose the Lina instantly without him casting any spells, it ends up being a pretty big win for Amplify.
And the other thing that we haven't talked about much, but Boomy getting this extra damage out from the Leshrac, if he actually has some mana, and, you know, I guess that's one of the things with, like, a Lesh, right, is that he does a lot of damage, and the reason that he ends up being balanced as a carry hero is because he needs a ton of mana regen to keep going. But if he just goes back to Fountain, stays full, topped off, when he gets into a fight, it's like you have a whole nother core almost.
It feels so bad as Leshrac if you die with mana remaining.
Right.
So, yeah, he can really pump out a lot. Does need to be a little bit wary of the Sanities. That's going to, you know, slow down the damage output a little bit. And there is going to be a secondary BKB on Amplify before too long. They are going to have the BKB up on the Mars in relatively short order, but Wraith King is still #1 on the net worth. So we'll see. Maybe Natsumi can still keep things going for his team here.
Boomy also trying to get towards a BKB. We did see that this Hex is almost done for Carl. Mystic Staff as well as the Ultimate Orb.
That's so scary.
This is a terrifying moment. But again, it's part of the reason why this Oracle can save the day. Needs to get towards some cast range, whether that's via an Aether Lens or just that level 15 talent, but it's going to be a little while. And this is the way that this hero has been nerfed over and over again, the False Promise range.
Yeah. The nerf hurts him a lot in this specific game against the Mars. Like, the Mars ulti, if Rior positions it well, and then make sure to spear the person towards his team.
Right.
It just makes it impossible for Oracle to then save that target. And I think that's part of what the Oracle is for this game, is to be able to save people from you know, the Mars initiation and whatnot. But it's not always possible, unfortunately.
Well, Amplify looking good so far, and now everybody TPs away as all of Adroit head to the north side. We did get the no reincarnation mana cost talent for Wraith King.
Yep.
Makes sense versus that OD. And are there any real timings that they're waiting for now? I guess BKB for Mac would be good, BKB for Lesh, but he's still a little ways away. Are they just stalling now to wait for those items?
Yeah, they're not really close to anything, huh? It does definitely feel like we've got Amplify coming up on the bigger timing now that they got the Hex picked up. They're not too far away from the BKB for the Mars. They're definitely going to go and make a play with those items. There's no reason not to. And Mac had such a good, like, the first few minutes of this game went so well for him, and then everything else just feels like it's been downhill. He's not even that far ahead on the Mars in terms of net worth. I'm interested to see how the rest of his game goes. Once he gets his level 20 talent, you know, his damage output is still going to be pretty good. I think that this like spellcaster build is a little bit less reliant on having a ton of farm than kind of going for the right click build, but Still not the situation that he wants to be in, especially since once the Wraith King's BKB starts to wear down, I think he just starts getting kited in the fights, right? Like he's going to get imprisoned, or he's going to get demonic purged, disrupted. It's not going to be an easy game for the Wraith King later on.
Jump in, quick stun onto Lesh. The turnaround stun coming from Natsumi. Boomy finds it, BKB used. Very bold. They're holding on to the BKB for Natsumi. Boomy trying to walk his way out of here, but will eventually... Oh, get saved. Okay, by the Oracle. But the relocate coming in. A great stun. Finds the catch. Gets the kill onto both of them. And Adroit woke up, ladies and gentlemen. It made it happen.
Yeah, that was not a fight that Amplify were even planning on taking, I think. They just... A little bit too cocky from Rior. And now straight into the pit for Adroit. This is a huge turnaround for them. And okay, can they force them out of here? They are going to buy back on 1.
Okay. And with
trying to scare him off.
Up, yeah, it looks like they're going to back out for now. So get the win. It is only the buyback on the IO. You would love to have been able to get the gyros as well. Yeah. But a bit too scary. By the way, can we settle once and for all? Is it Amplify? What do you think?
I would honestly prefer to just call them Amplify.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah. I think that's what they're going for, right?
That's fair. That's fair enough.
Actually, I just don't know how many letters are you allowed to have in your team tag.
Oh. I feel like that can't be the reason.
No, I guess the branding seems like it's also Amplify. Anyway, but let's call them Amplify. I'm down with that. I like the decision to run straight into the Roshan pit, at least force the 1 buyback. There weren't really any other objectives that they could go for. Spear coming back. Is the center the target you really want, though?
They find the Oracle as well. And Bach, no Stampede right now, so, well, he eventually is going to go down. This is not even a fight. This is just a murder. They'll take down Bach, get the kill from Carl. And do they go right into the pit now? They're pinging it, but I don't know if they're going to go for it.
I don't know if they can. It's okay. They're pinging it. They're gonna give it a shot at the very least. I think it's very much a similar play to what
they found him. He was invis, but walked into the range of a sentry, but able to get out. That was so dangerous.
Stressful moment. Stressful moment. Okay, I guess they do actually have the damage here with the Vlads, the Ags, the Maelstrom. Gyrocopter is actually pumping it out. And they're not coming over to contest. So a minor hiccup from Amplify as they take a really weird fight at mid, and we can see why the Wisp is always kind of hesitant about these relocates, because he needs to choose the exact right spot, otherwise they both just get chain stunned. I guess the Gyrocopter can like come in with BKB running, but that's not how he wants to play.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't have to because he's got the Aegis. So also going to have another item before too long, just going straight into the Satanic, actually. Very survivable build.
And look at this.
Bot.
Speaking of survivable build, Natsumi queuing up the Aghanim Scepter.
Okay.
So a little bit of, you know, I guess this is one of those games, though, that if they just get off their spells, particularly for Mac, their chances to win the fight is way better.
It's so nice for their supports, though, as well. Like, Oracle dies, but then he can still get the False Promise on a core.
Right.
Or Leshrac dies, but then he still gets to dump a lot of mana into the fight in the form of damage. I actually really like this decision for the Wraith King. I guess what else could he go for here? I guess like a Basher or Nullifier or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I think this is actually a really good choice.
Very cool. I like it a lot. It does sort of become a little bit weird later because it means his next item is probably going to have to be the synth afterwards, I would assume, which would give him another slot. So that means it's another like 2,000 gold where he has to wait before he can even think about buying another item. Unless you're going to be doing some weird sort of switching around your items in the backpack type of play.
You can ditch the Midas for a little bit.
How dare you?
Are you a Midas gamer?
I'm a Midas gamer.
Okay.
Oh, look out though.
Amplify, smoked up again. They don't have the vision, so they're being a little bit careful. They don't want to run straight up into the shrine. And a little bit suspicious to see the Gyrocopter just pushing mid all by himself. There's no way that a droid think, oh yeah, Gyrocopter's just he's pushing mid while his whole team's bottom.
Yeah,
so
happening. So they have an idea of where they're at, and Natsumi is going to be the one that holds this front line. Rior jumps forward, Spear going to connect on him. This isn't the greatest of targets. Purge off, the W from the Shadow Demon. Jump forward though, good jump. Can they kill him off in time? Leshrac pops the BKB, and they're turning to fight. They did bring down the Wraith King. Great save from the Laguna Blade is going to keep the Gyrocopter alive, and the Wisp comes back in for the heals as well. They keep him up, still trying to walk away. He's so freaking low, but it is going to be the Aegis down. Everybody from Adroit ready to go in for a second round now. Can they kill him off a second time? BKB, TP, he's gone, but so too will be this IO. Big win for Adroit.
I don't know what Carl did that fight. Why did he dropped a 0 stack Sanities. He still did some damage, but like I think most of that damage was just killing the Wraith King on his first life. And I'm now looking at his inventory, and I'm wondering why he has a Lincoln Sphere instead of the BKB. Maybe it's to do with the Laguna Blade, but big fight win for Adroit, and now they are just coming down mid.
And maybe also some of it is feeling like he could save himself from the Laguna Blade, or rather, excuse me, that there's other options to deal with the Laguna Blade, that he could have had either Shadow Demon save him or he save himself, like we saw just in that last fight against the Gyro. But nonetheless, big win for Adroit. They're 6,000 gold lead, but more importantly, they've taken all the outer tier 2 towers now. Well,
turns out that the fight can look pretty good for Adroit if the Lina actually manages to get off her spells.
Yeah.
So that's certainly good news. Mac is a little bit more in the game, even feeling confident enough to pick up some BOTs here. Maybe he'll be out on the map split pushing a little bit more. It is a nice item to have to kind of respond to the constant Gyro Wisp split push, because they're always going to be shoving at lanes and then joining their team later on with the relocate.
It's 1,000 pure damage coming out right now from the Lina, and this is not very tanky on the Shadow Demon or the IO. I mean, it's more so than some other heroes. Like, 2.6 strength gain isn't terrible for Shadow Demon, and of course, IO being a strength hero has 3.0. So there's ways that looks kind of better, but
they're still getting blasted though.
Yeah, that's true. This BKB from Boomy is so clutch.
This is the real Death Star build. Like just blow up whoever.
Yeah.
But they need more from there. I think that fight is like some of the previous fights. It's OD gets a decent amount while the Lina does 0. That last fight is OD doesn't really do enough, and Lina does a lot.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think they were like the Wisp. I don't think was tethered to the Gyro. Maybe the weird decision overall was actually to give the Aegis to the Gyrocopter and not the OD.
Yeah.
Because I think it created some weird priorities where the IO was then like, oh well, Gyro has Aegis, so he doesn't need me, so I should go tether to the OD. But he can't really keep the OD alive in the same way.
So one other thing to think about here as well is, we talked about how good of an OD pick this is, and I think it is, but the other thing that the OD pick made this was a really good BKB game, and now we're going to have 4 BKBs on Adroit with the Centaur picking his up soon as well. And all of a sudden, like, where is your damage on the Radiant once those BKBs come out? They don't have it.
Yeah, they have to fight through the BKBs. This is the window where Carl is going to fall off a little bit, and if they can successfully, I think that's the other thing, they need to try and take fights on the opposing side of the map so that they can wear down the BKBs without losing too many objectives.
Got it.
So even if the fight is a trade, if the BKB charges get used, then OD's happy with that.
Aghanim Scepter done for Natsumi. And meanwhile, they saw that he was down there. Now they're going to TP and find whoever they possibly can. Bach there, blinks away, BKB, Stampede, run out of here. Adroit, they're gone. But they did use the BKB charge on Lesh and Stampede.
Yeah, so that's a win for Amplify for sure.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how this Wraith King Ags ends up working out, because he's still farming pretty quickly. He will probably still get a couple more items, but starting to get super slot limited, so every item after this point feels like it's not really going to be as scary.
Right.
Gyrocopter still has a little bit of room to grow. He's just going for a Daedalus, in fact.
I think this is the answer to the BKBs, right? Like, you need to be able to do some damage.
Yeah, just hit him.
And until like OD is never really going to have something. I guess the big thing that he can look for is just the blink hex and then try and blow up that one target and maybe get some sanities off as well. as well as being a save hero. But
Yeah, for sure.
top lane, Gyrocopter ready to push this one out. And Adroit feeling very comfortable at this point. I feel like this Lesh pick has been so valuable. Like having just this 4th core that throws out damage and is almost catching up to the Mars now.
Yeah, Boomy's doing a really good job of just soaking up any spare farm that's on the map. And like you said, he is going to be scary going later on. And I think one of the scariest things about the Adroit lineup is that if they all get 25, especially the Leshrac, they can just take your whole base in like 2 seconds.
Right.
Between Skeletons, AC, and Diabolic Edict. Like, what are you going to do about that?
It's true.
So Amplify have to be very careful. The next Roshan going to be kind of the next big objective. It's going to be up in about 50 seconds time. So we'll definitely need to look out for that, and both teams going to be trying to make rotations. You can already see that the warding is kind of loosely around that area anyway. Both teams preparing for something, and Adroit are going to be the ones to kind of make the first move. I like this as well. They send out the Skeleton, so the... Oh, no. He wanted them to apply pressure mid, but they don't see the wave, so they're going on a little vacation to the Dire jungle. Oh, no.
This ward just giving a lot of vision to this camp. They're like, this is where we gotta go.
All right, I see them. Target acquired, boys.
All right, who's behind? Oracle behind. Carl. Spotted, jumped on, caught, good save, Reor, BKB to try and turn this one. They're going to keep alive one for the moment. Natsumi going to be able to chase this out, but the Carl BKB is going to wear off shortly as well. As Boomy runs in the midst of all of them, they are not doing enough damage to Bach. He's able to walk away afterwards. They find themselves the kill on the IO, and Bach being chased by Carl this entire time. Carl's doing nothing in this fight, and they give him the tip. Carl just wants the kill, but it ain't happening. They killed off the rest of his team. Io, Gyro, and the Shadow Demon all went down.
There's just so much damage from Adroit. Like the fight recap, Boomy did by far the most damage in that fight for his team. They speared the Centaur, but he'd already popped most of his spells at that point. What can they actually do?
It feels so hard for them now. And no Sanity's Eclipse this time either. Boomy running away is going to be saved by the Oracle and going to try and get out of there. Does complete the TP. In the meantime, Natsumi in a little bit of trouble. They bought back on both the Shadow Demon and the Gyrocopter for this. They have to get the kill, and it looks like they will take down the Wraith King, but that is all.
Okay, so they gotta get something on the swing back here. Fortunately for them, Roshan is alive. The Dire they got a little bit of vision in that area. They got a ward behind the pit, kind of, but are they actually going to try and fight this? Wraith King does have buyback.
Nice play by Carl here. They're going to buy back now on the Wraith King. He's actually gone in really deep. I thought this was to make a little bit of extra space, but if they're not careful, they might just lose the OD here for nothing.
Oh my!
They get the catch now, and meanwhile the Mjolnir proc ends up hitting.
Oh, no, this is getting really dicey. They desperately need this Aegis. They don't get it.
They bought back on the OD. BKB pop trying to take this down. If they get the Roche, it's going to be a huge win, and they're able to take it away. Oh, my goodness gracious. Adroit still low. Natsumi, he's going to be healing back up from all of this afterwards. They're trying to keep alive this Gyrocopter. The disarm is there, so he can attack, but it looks like it's not going to be enough. Coming back in a second, the reincarnation, the stun goes out, able to find that Shadow Demon, take themselves this Gyrocopter. So much heals coming out from this Io with the Holy Locket, but is it going to be enough? He goes back in for a second round. Another spear goes out, doesn't connect. Mac able to make it happen. The right clicks are there, and that is going to be the Aegis. It looks like, though, with already a couple having gone down, Adroit just need to back out. They lost the Lesh, and he does not have buyback.
So they do manage to force down the Aegis, but lots of, a couple of buybacks being traded there. So clutch that and so important that the Gyrocopter manages to pick up the Aegis. If he doesn't pick up the Aegis, that the whole game might have just been over right in an instant there. But Amplify still managing to clutch it out and now having a little bit of an opportunity. I don't think they'll be able to force too much onto the high ground.
You got to be careful right now. Amplify buyback status across the board. They have it on the Io and the Mars. And you talked about the strength with which you can push. Granted, that is with the Leshrac level 25, which he's still a little ways away from. But these next couple of minutes could start to get a little bit dicey. I think that now Amplify can clear out this top tier 2 tower. There's still one standing in the bottom lane. But no more Aegis. It's Let's kind of reset this fight a little bit. Did anybody end up using the cheese? They have cheese on the Lina, so they were able to get something out of that from Adroit.
All right, so they at least managed to pick that up. Yeah, it's a tense couple of minutes. I don't know if either team will try and make any plays. I feel like it's a little bit better for Adroit at the moment just because they still have Lina's buyback and she's got BOTs.
Right.
So if they want